Hello, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, good night. I know we normally do a podcast on Tuesday night, but yeah, not this week, unfortunately. Thank you very much for tuning in. I kind of struggled to think of what we were gonna talk about tonight without having a podcast, and then it hit me. Right, I have some really amazing food videos that I've watched on YouTube multiple times, and I love these channels that I'm going to show you tonight. But they're some of the best educational content on the internet, particularly around food, right? That's what this channel's about, right? Particularly around food and drink. This stuff is super excellent. So I promise you, stick around. You will not be disappointed. These are honestly some of the most amazing videos on the entirety of the internet if you want to learn about different weird, traditional, unusual foods and new ways of doing things, or bringing back old traditions in cooking. Some really cool stuff. Actually, the first one, I love this guy's energy. I love this guy's energy. What did you bring, Smurf? I saw you hanging around in chat there before. I thought we'd go for a bottle kill tonight. I've got a little bit of whiskey left, and this is an amazing whiskey. There's not much left there. And also steeping in my little teapot here, I have some rose green tea. Not sponsored, unless you want to sponsor me, T2, reach out. This is amazing tea, right? It's one of my favorites. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a tea drinker as well. Look at that tea blend. Look at those beautiful flowers. One of my favorite teas, this one. Also, I have a cool shirt. I don't know if you noticed. It's a very cool shirt. I get my shirts on special whenever I can. It's usually the patterns and colors that other people don't want, and I look at it and I'm like, yes, I'll have one of those. We're gonna crack this whiskey. So, I'm talking about this whiskey before. It's one of my favorite straight whiskeys to drink. Balvenie. Amazing. Balvenie sponsor me. I would take a sponsorship from Balvenie for sure. I will say whatever Balvenie wants. Okay, well, look, chat, what are we here for? I actually have, I've teed up, let me just check. They are some of the most amazing, informative videos about food. And I just want to watch them and talk about some of the points that give me those oh wow moment. This is really cool. People doing amazingly different things, cooking traditionally, trying new techniques, bringing back old techniques, or really keeping a traditional cooking method or traditional product alive. I don't know about you, but it really inspires me. It makes me super excited to see. So we're gonna watch those. I'm gonna go over to the clip show. This should work, hopefully. Okay. You can see me there. Everyone, hello. Hey, look, you can see my Balvenie better now. That works. Why don't I put that in the corner? That way everyone can see it and I think I'm really fancy. That'll work. Just don't knock it over, chat. It'll be your fault if it gets knocked over. Who's ready to watch some videos? The first one is about bagels. This guy, just before we get into this video, I love this guy. The energy that he brings, the character that he is, he loves bagels, okay? This guy, it is delicious. They are very delicious bagels, Pando. Wait till you see his energy with these bagels, next level. Okay, you ready for this, chat? We're going live.
New York, I believe, has two special things better than any other state in the union, and that's pizza and bagels. We have not changed one iota of what goes in our bagel. The oven, the kettle, everything is the same for 40 years here.
So look at the skill that these guys have. The absolute next level skill and the energy and passion that they have for these bagels. 40 years. They've been making bagels the same way for 40 years. Insane. Absolutely insane. Longer than I've been alive, they've been making bagels. Salute to these guys. Absolutely insane.
There are weeks where I can make 100,000 bagels.
100,000
bagels. On average,
bagels.
I would say we do about 70,000 bagels a week.
Oh.
This is a mountain. A mountain of our flour.
Look at this flour.
We'll probably go through over 200 bags.
Oh my God.
Flour, I'm not in business. This is an incredible machine.
Jesus.
It mixes up to 200 pounds of flour. We don't spare expense when it comes to quality. One of the main differences about our ingredients is we use liquid malt. Old school way, old school flavor. liquid mold.
Okay, so little things like that, right? He's using the proper bagel starter. He's using liquid malt, which is like an old style. Sometimes in the pursuit of profitability or ease of use, you can like cut corners. And sometimes those corners are fine, right? But it's really interesting to see an expert. I'm not an expert in most things, chat. I really am just in awe of experts. We definitely need them. I'm more of a generalist, but this guy and the people that work here, they are experts at this. And plus, 200 bags of flour per week, man, next level, out of a little shop in New York. Just to pause for a second, Smurf has asked what is malt. I didn't know for the longest time. I knew what it was. I knew what it was used in beer, in bread, in milkshakes. We should watch a video on malt because I found out what it was, Smurf. So anyone who doesn't know what malt is, quick disclaimer, malt is you take a grain, you keep it moist but not too wet, not too dry, because it needs to germinate. Inside like a grain, it has a lot of complicated, complex sugars. When the grain sprouts and you get that first little green shoot and the first little white root come out the bottom, what's happening inside the grain is that it's converting all of those complex carbohydrates into simple sugars it can use to grow. So it becomes a lot sweeter, a lot more like sugars accessible. And it's at that point where the grain just starts to grow that first little leaf and the first little root that they roast it. So that's what malt is. Malt is just grains that have been allowed to just sprout and then they roast them. So they're very sweet. I was fascinated as well, Smurf, because I didn't know for the longest time. Okay. Tangent cam over. We're back to bagels. But great question, Smurf. Great question. I literally found this out maybe 6 months ago, so nice.
And we're just mixing water in there. And New York water. That's how they say it. New York water.
New York water.
Water was the main thing that happens to a bagel that makes it great.
This
it's
guy,
those techniques that make our bagel what they are.
So I guarantee this guy knows, without being able to explain to you why, he knows if a bagel is ready or not. He will know by sight and by feel and by touch and by smell, like just unconscious competency that this guy will have for bagels. He'll be able to tell you, oh, that bagel is ready. If you ask him to tell you exactly why, he may not even be able to tell you why, but I guarantee.
Now we're gonna add the flour. Now those are 50-pound bag. In Henry's day,
250-pound bags. 250-pound bags of flour. Dear Lord.
The weather and the atmosphere,
Look at this.
humidity will control how fast the bagel will rise.
So depending on the time
These
of the
guys
year,
have been doing
you need
this
to add
for
more or
20,
less
25
yeast.
years,
Jesus.
and they know what they're doing.
Maybe I can get one of these machines for the kitchen. What do you think, chat?
Will probably
We're gonna make
take
big cakes.
We'll take it out and putting on a rolling table.
Look at that! That's so much bagel. Oh my God,
put
man.
a wrap over it so it continues the proofing. The roller will come back and start cutting his bagels and start forming them and rolling them into individual bagels.
That's so cool. Look at, hold on. Let's just go back here. Look at the technique this guy uses. Okay, watch what he does here.
And start forming them and
Just
rolling them
so
into
smooth and like
bagels.
rolling them and getting that seal.
The biggest difference I think with all my rollers, how they lock their bagels.
Oh, right. He's talking about it now.
And a good lock is like you can't even find where it happened.
Yeah,
You're talking with literally a master. I would call Henry a master. But he's been rolling bagels over 27 years.
27 years he's been making
From
bagels.
each roller, you could find that lock and I could tell, oh wow, that's Henry's bagel. That's Daniel's bagel. That's Rafi's
Wow.
bagel. By the way, they
Every single roller has their own like signature lock they're using.
Made, there's a cylinder that just keeps pumping it and pumping it and pumping it, and that tightens that dough up.
Yes,
the
rolling. So this is true, right? With a lot of the mechanical bread makers, mechanical dough rollers, they overwork it, right? Because it has to be forced through these big machines, and it's so easy to overwork dough or underwork dough, and just make it too tough or too stringy or not stringy enough. Bread is difficult, particularly like rolled dough like this.
Take a bagel from here, take a bagel from there, put it on the scale, and boom. They'll be within a point 0.01
Wow.
of what the bagel weight should be.
Wow. So, all right, just take a second there, right? There's no portion control. No portion control down there. Hey, Cray, how you going, man? Welcome, welcome. We're learning about New York bagels at the moment, Cray.
It is what makes the rollers so good here. They are so educated on temperatures in the air, the feel of the dough, that their proofing is so spot on.
Wow. So they're even like thinking about the temperatures of the dough
Right now, these
and
bagels
making
are
sure
ready to
that
go in
they're
the fridge.
rising and everything perfectly.
So that's where they need this refrigeration to stop that process.
You see what I
A
mean
good
about this
bagel
guy?
needs at least 24 hours.
He is really, really into it.
That is probably one of the most important parts
He loves
of the
bagels,
bagel.
man.
Each of these rack hold over 1,000. So right here alone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are heavy. There's 7,000 bagels.
7,000
And
bagels.
Two other
fridges.
So we're gonna pull out a new rack. So we're gonna
Okay, here we
open
go.
these up just to release some of the frost that's inside. If you put these in right away, the bottoms of the bagels will start blistering a little bit. So you want to let them get into the room temperature, so it'll help the process and make the bagel be up to my par.
Can you see why I like this guy? I love that energy that he's got. And the way that he feels about food is the way that I feel about food. And hopefully that comes across to you guys in the kitchen when we're cooking. But man, you can tell he loves what he does.
Now, why do I smack it? You want to get it off those boards. And I'm an attention grabber, so I always like to make noises. If you look at a bagel off of or out of the fridge, there are creases, but they're not prominent. If you look in here, you're gonna start seeing the lines of the bagels start to come out a lot more. That means
So he's there, instead of steam baking them, which is essentially baking with high pressure steam, he's boiling the bagels first, which is a much more traditional way to make bagels. And I actually didn't pick this up on my first watch of this, but I understand what he's doing now. So you've got those little creases in the bagel, and if you put it in the water, the crust isn't gonna form yet because the water's gonna not form a crust. So it's letting the bagel expand and those creases become more pronounced, so the bagel will be able to expand more, and then you bake it so you put that crust on at the end. It's very clever. Man, science or just absolute, like, from the heart feel. I can tell he just knows what he needs to do without needing to think about it. So
it's getting closer to getting out of that kettle.
Bagel expert.
And the crust won't.
Look how much they puffed up.
It's a feel on the paddle.
Wow, right.
It's a lot of understanding.
So this is what I'm saying, right? He's explaining that you can feel as you're stirring them with the paddle. Right, they're done now. From that feel, from that just like tiny little bits of resistance and difference in texture.
Right. And you learn by your mistakes. Mistakes are a good thing to happen when you learn from them.
You know what? what did I hear recently, right? I think I was watching a show about this. Mistakes are really important. Oh, right. It was a video on glass blowing, and they were trying to make this really complex glass thing. They were talking about why mistakes are important, and the fact that, like, if you're doing your best work, then it is right on the cusp of where something can go wrong. And by making a mistake, you can then figure out where that mistake happened and push your thing, whatever it is you're doing, if you're cooking or glass making or at work or in your studies, you push yourself back because you know where that failure point is now and you know how close you can get. But if you don't fail and you play it safe, you're never going to get close to that perfection. So that's what he's saying. He's not saying it in that many words. He said it much more succinctly than me, but if you can get to that point where, like, you just know where that failure point is because you failed before, then you know how far you can push it. So very important to fail. Do not be afraid to try a dish and fail, chat. Just try it. Give it a go. Fail all you want, because every time you practice it, you'll get better. I made plenty of bad food and cocktails in my day.
After 40 years, we're still getting better.
40 years still improving.
Season both sides of bagel. right in front of us is, again, the heart and soul of
Wow.
our business.
I forgot about his
my
oven.
Middle B Marshall,
Oh my God.
1947. A lot of people know
1947
Marshall's
oven.
Marshall lamps. Jimi Hendrix played behind a Marshall lamp. The
Jesus.
Doors, you know.
Wow. Look at this oven.
6-shelf
It literally carousel.
Each shelf can fit up to.
The oven spins around. That's so awesome.
I also tell the guy running the oven, you're the heart here. You're the commander of the ship. Everybody's kind of watching that bagel baker. Everybody will ask me these questions. When, how much, this and that. And the answer I tell them when it's ready.
When it's ready.
It's a look, it's a touch, it's a smell. That's when it's ready.
That's when it's ready,
When
chat.
it's right.
When it's right, it's ready. So they're baking on
Now,
slate.
the big
That's awesome.
question you haven't asked is how hot are these slates? One thing I tell everybody if they come and ask me for a baking job, I tell them to roll up their sleeves.
Oh.
And if you don't got burns, you're not a good baker.
Oh my God.
So we'll
Okay,
take the sesame
Smurf.
out first.
Smurf, make sure you remind me to ask Annika
Very sesame.
how many burns she has on her arms.
Look at that nice soft
Oh,
dough,
God.
nice crisscross. And I never can
Oh
stop
my
eating.
God.
You can walk in here at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and get a hot bagel out of the oven. It's one of the things where you won't find in any other store in the city. Most people are turning off their ovens 10 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock the latest. We're open till 6 at night, and then once we close the doors, we'll bake sometimes until 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Hot fresh bagels. We chose the everything bagel, capers,
Oh
red
my
onion,
God.
tomatoes,
Look how good this is.
and then we're gonna slice
Oh,
some fresh
freshly
over.
sliced salmon. Oh my God. Dude,
Open it
how
up.
cool.
Look at that.
Oh. Is anyone else really hungry?
Our sandwich
I'm
board.
really
We have
hungry
over
now.
30 different-
Wow.
Out of this world.
Damn.
One problem you're gonna have with my bagel is once you eat it, you're just not gonna want to eat any other bagel. So it becomes a little bit of a problem.
Yeah. So good. Hey YouTube fan, thanks for watching this big small world. You can watch more videos right here without even moving off your seat, or you can check me out on my socials or even live streaming over on Twitch. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Cheers.